If moments of bravery inspire you, hit subscribe. You'll enjoy what's coming. And this story begins on a sun-beaten runway at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, where steel giants slept and reputations were forged. For months, pilots whispered about Colonel Raymond Hale, a decorated yet domineering officer who believed rank alone defined skill. To him, experience was measured not by flight hours, but by how loudly he could command the room. He dismissed the younger pilots, mocked their aircraft choices, and spoke of the A-10 Thunderbolt II, the Warthog, as if it were a relic beneath his attention. And then there was Captain Elise Granger, quiet, precise, a pilot whose calmness seemed carved from stone. She had mastered the A-10, not because it was glamorous, but because she respected its purpose, protecting lives with unrelenting discipline. While others chased prestige, she chased perfection. Her squadron knew her skill, the colonel did not. The confrontation came during a readiness drill. The base commander announced a rapid response exercise. 2 pilots would scramble from standby and reach a designated strike grid as fast as possible. No weapons, just speed, precision, and pure flying discipline. Colonel Hale smirked. "Any jet will do," he said, his voice cutting through the hangar. "Even the old Warthog, if it can manage to take off in time." The room fell silent. Elise simply nodded. She didn't rise to insults. Her confidence lived in her hands, not her words. And so the stage was set. The brash colonel in an F-16, sleek, fast, revered, and the quiet captain in her A-10, slow, rugged, underestimated. No one knew that within minutes the entire base would witness the moment arrogance met its reckoning. The siren blared. Hale sprinted to his jet, barking at his crew. But arrogance moves slowly in ways pride cannot detect. His pre-flight ritual was sloppy, commands tangled, directives repeated, impatience bleeding into every gesture. Elise moved like a metronome, communication crisp, motions exact, checks completed in half the time. Engines roared across the tarmac. Colonel Hale's F-16 canopy slammed shut just as her A-10 growled awake. He shot a smug glance toward her aircraft, but froze when he saw it. She was already rolling. The confrontation came during a readiness drill. The base commander announced a rapid response exercise. 2 pilots would scramble from standby and reach a designated strike grid as fast as possible. No weapons, just speed, precision, and pure flying discipline. Colonel Hale smirked. "Any jet will do," he said, his voice cutting through the hangar. "Even the old Warthog, if it can manage to take off in time." The room fell silent. Elise simply nodded. She didn't rise to insults. Her confidence lived in her hands, not her words. And so the stage was set. The brash colonel in an F-16, sleek, fast, revered, and the quiet captain in her A-10, slow, rugged, underestimated. No one knew that within minutes the entire base would witness the moment arrogance met its reckoning. The ground crew stared. The Warthog, notorious for its deliberate startup cycle, was airborne in seconds, lifting cleanly into the desert sky with a sharp, thunderous crack that silenced every doubter. Hale shoved his throttle forward, but he was chasing a shadow. By the time he cleared the runway, Elise was already banking at the strike grid, calling in, "Grid 1 reached, Captain Granger on station." The colonel heard the transmission, and the hangar erupted in stunned silence. When the F-16 finally arrived, 68 seconds late, Hale said nothing. He taxied back to the tarmac with the stiffness of a man who had flown into a wall of truth. The base commander approached slowly, carrying the weight of both discipline and disbelief. In the hangar, pilots stood at attention. No one dared speak. Elise removed her helmet with the quiet dignity of someone who didn't need applause. Hale, red-faced, stepped forward before the commander could. "That was
An unexpected advantage, he muttered. The Warthog has quirks. That's why she launched first. The commander raised a hand. Hale, the only quirk I saw was discipline. She respected her aircraft. You assumed yours would obey you. The colonel's jaw tightened. The commander turned to Elise. Captain Granger, walk me through your launch sequence. Her explanation was simple. She relied on fundamentals. No shortcuts, no ego. Every switch flipped with intention. Every second accounted for. Hale interrupted. Sir, with respect, speed is the F-16's domain. That A-10 is a tool, the commander finished, like any aircraft. Some pilots honor their tools, others assume their tools exist to honor them. The room remained still. A senior master sergeant, someone who had served under 6 commanders, finally stepped forward. Sir, permission to speak freely. The commander nodded. I've watched her train. Captain Granger doesn't fly fast because of the A-10. She flies fast because she wastes nothing. Not time, not motion, not pride. Hale swallowed hard, his confidence evaporating. The commander faced the room. Let today be clear. Arrogance delays. Discipline delivers. Elise offered only one quiet sentence, directed not at Hale, but at the younger pilots watching. Mastery is respecting the process, not rushing the reward. The colonel lowered his eyes. In the silence that followed, it was evident that something greater than a drill had taken place. A lesson, etched in jet fuel and humility, had just been written into the base's history.
In the months that followed, the story traveled far beyond the hangars. It became a reference point in briefing rooms, training manuals, and late-night conversations between new cadets. They called it the day the Warthog won the sky. Instructors repeated it when young pilots grew impatient. Mechanics retold it when rookies dismissed checklists. Even commanders cited it when reminding future leaders that rank does not override readiness. As for Colonel Hale, the humiliation transformed him. Quietly, without announcement, he began arriving earlier, training harder, listening more. Some said he became a better officer because of that single minute of truth. But Captain Elise Granger? She became a legend. Not the loud kind, not the kind etched into posters or shouted during graduation ceremonies. A quieter legend, the kind the Air Force respects most. A story of discipline triumphing over ego. Years later, when she was asked what she remembered most about that day, she didn't mention the victory, the applause, or the stunned silence. She spoke only of the principle that guided her career. When you honor your craft, it carries you farther than speed ever will. Her words became a phrase repeated across bases, carved into plaques, and whispered before difficult missions. A final reminder that skill without arrogance is unstoppable.